Hello, and we should be here by now. I think we are. We're wait until I was going to say we'll wait until the emergency elf is here, but the emergency elf is
I'm
here,
already here. Yeah.
which is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Hello, welcome to Band of Badgers.
Hi.
I'm Dave, your host for this evening, and joining me with as is co-host is Lee.
Hi.
As you all know, is our emergency elf. And this session is all about our live Q&A series. This time we have Justin HEASMAN with us. Hi, Justin.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. And you?
I'm well. Slightly nervous because we've never done software before. We've always done like a physical product. So I'm a very handsy kind of guy. I like doing all this, and I have nothing to do. So I'm just going to sit here and let you take us on a tour. But so Justin is the lead developer for what is called the Ultimate Games Master, which is a new piece of software coming to Kickstarter very, very soon. When's it coming to Kickstarter, Justin?
It's coming in July, and to be precise, it's on July the 27th, and it's launching at 4 p.m. British summertime.
Cool.
Oh, just in time for my birthday.
Well, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
And another Kickstarter for us all to back, because
Okay.
I love Kickstarters. So what we're going to be doing is something a bit different. So Justin is going to be introducing us to this new piece of software. We're going to be talking about the upcoming Kickstarter. We're going to be talking all different kinds of things related to it. So basically, if you keep asking questions, we will keep talking. It's that easy. Now, the software is so big because it covers players, GMs, maps, spectators, sounds, everything. Okay, so what we're going to do is try to keep this to an introduction. We're going to try to keep it around an hour. And when the Kickstarter goes up, maybe before, maybe during, maybe after, we'll probably cover some more topics. Okay, so this is more of an introduction. So if you have specific questions, don't be shy. Put them into live chat. We want write question in capital letters, followed by a question. And if Lee spots it, she'll call it out. Now, as always, this is Band of Badgers, which means we also have some giveaways. So we'll let you know when we're doing them. But Justin, what you can do is if you see a particularly good question, as in the best question, you can reward that person with a freebie, whichever way the giveaway is. Okay, but we'll probably do some freebies as we go.
Sounds good.
What are our freebies? Or are they a surprise?
No, Justin, you can explain what would the freebies
Yeah,
be.
no, we're going to give away a couple of 6-month subscriptions to everything that we do. So yeah, so you can play around with it, get to know it, enjoy it, and then get so excited that you won't want to put it down. That's the idea.
Exactly. Now I can say that I've seen, I spoke with Justin and some of the team. They took me on a little tour. I was blown away. In fact, I will let it be known now. One of the best features was tumbleweed because as you know, we have a Josh. Not Josh McGuire, we have a Josh, and a Josh who plays Harrison in Rune Lords. Those kind of deadpan one-liners. Wow, the most terrible jokes on the planet. You need tumbleweed, you really do, and it's a fantastic feature. But we may show you that later if we can.
Yeah, the worst joke gets the tumbleweed.
Well, there you go. Oh, now it's a whole new stream.
Really bad joke. Lucky we get a tumbleweed.
No, we need a new stream just for bad jokes.
Yeah.
We'll be here forever. So, Justin, tell us about yourself, your background, and why have you made the Ultimate Games Master? Okay,
well, my name is Justin HEASMAN. I've been a software developer for, probably 25 years or so now. And I've also been a visual effect supervisor as well. So I've done visual effects for movies and things like that and commercials, which has been good fun. And I love D&D. I love role-play games. I love the fact that you can just forget about everything that's happening in your life and become someone else. Or in my case, I'm the GM most of the time, so I get to create worlds and suck people into them worlds and totally immerse them into it, which I absolutely love doing. Now, our company is Nonagon 3, and that consists of, there's 4 of us. That's myself, Pete, who does our art, Stuart, that's our social man. He's one that posts loads of stuff all over the place. And Andy is our 3D nerd who does all the all anything 3D, which we'll come on to a bit later as well.
Cool.
We also have our mods, which is my wife, Emma, and Malcolm. Now, Malcolm is our tumbleweed. He cracks a lot of tumbleweed jokes, which is the whole reason I put it into the app in the first place. But I didn't tell him about it. But we'll show that later. One day I just went, oh, bad joke. Boom, there we go. So, but yeah.
I love it.
So so we're Nonagon 3 Limited. We've been established now for getting on for 5 years. We stand at the UK Games Expo every year, but we're not standing this year purely because of what's happening in the world. And we've got some great surprises that we're going to bring to the Expo next year. So look out for us there. I've got some pictures that I'll show of the Expo and our dragon that we normally bring, which is pretty cool. Now, I created the Ultimate Games Master, first of all, purely because as a GM, I was frustrated with having a whole load of apps to do lots of different things. And so I created the UGM as a very basic application to start with. It was purely for campaign notes, firing music sound effects, and that's about it, really. Holding some maps, I think.
Maps, and players, tokens, music, atmosphere imagery. Here's the thing. So we're going to bounce around because, this is live. We can do this. We're going to bounce around. So one of the things, we know, we can talk about this. There's D&D Beyond and there's Roll20, okay?
Mm-hmm.
2 very successful bits of software that do very different jobs. Imagine them combined into one software. And this is kind of where we begin to find what the Ultimate Games Master is. Apart from it kind of works. Because, so D&D Beyond in Alpha have their encounter thing. And I was trying to put something together where I could have like the heroes meet 4 orcs, and then an ogre comes in on round 3. I can't do that. I know it's an alpha, but I can't do that. So I'm back to using pen and paper and sorting cards and things like that. However, speaking to Justin and then showing me on the Ultimate Games Master, it works. It doesn't just work. It works fantastically well. So, again, is this a world beater? Can this take on D&D Beyond and Roll20?
I'd like to hope so.
It's a tag match. Let's bring it on. I think so. Definitely. I think so. But anyway, cool. Yeah. I'm going to jump around quite a bit because I was really excited about it.
So it started as a really basic app, and I was using it in our own games, and my groups said, well, that's pretty good. We should do something with that. And then we thought, well, okay. And then I developed it, added the player module into it, added a spectator module into it, which doubles up as a streaming module, which I'll come to in a minute. And it's just got bigger and bigger until, we're at a point now where we want to unleash it to the world. We have taken, like I said, we've taken it to the last 2 Games Expos, and the response was amazing. Really, we couldn't have asked for anything better. They loved it. We had the first expo, our little gimmick was we had Pete sat at the side. He was drawing and painting a dragon for the whole time we were there. So people sort of seeing how he's painting all the artwork and that. While we was there losing our voices, talking to everyone. He's like, what do you think? This nice grade of red here looks really good, doesn't it? So that was good. And then the next year we actually bought the dragon, a sort of 7-8 foot tall dragon by 15 odd feet long. It's amazing. So we had lots of people with their photo opportunities taking that, which was good. Fantastic. But the response that we had for the product, the Ultimate Games Master, was amazing. Really, really good. We've got a few people that have beta tested it for the last sort of ongoing really. And anything they come up with, we think, oh, that's a good idea, or maybe not. we'll add it into the next beta, and until it's got to a point, like I said, now where we're very feature rich, and we want to share it with everybody. And another reason why I'm here talking to you.
Fantastic.
So yeah.
So
I have a question.
Go ahead. Go.
Okay. I do a lot of gaming over Discord. Do you have some sort of Discord integration to this software, or where I can use the software in conjunction with Discord, or is it just sort of like a separate app that I have to use? And what sort of features would it have?
What do you use for the Discord side of it? Just a speech, or?
Well, sheet management, maps, things like that, to be able to show the sort of character progress and development, any sort of monsters, any sort of things that I want to include. Like I know D&D has a bot called Avray, but if I want to run like a text-based game on Discord, that's the sort of product that I would be looking for, is some sort of database sheet management, how to manage XP and character growth and development, things like that.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't need Discord. We use Discord or Zoom for voice and video, but within the Ultimate Games Master, you've got an entire campaign manager, which you can put all your notes, all your lore into, your player manager. So you've got all the XP and everything like that, as well as storing your maps and things like that. But what you can do, so if you're, for example, if you're playing a game and your characters find a map, for instance, you can send that map down to their character sheets. So they then get it on their screen. They can bring it up and have a look at it whenever they want to. So they can, okay, so we're at this point now, right? Okay, well, we need to work our way south and a little bit over this bridge here. And they've got that then in their inventory, so they've then got that to always look back to. So you don't need any separate database or anything like that, other than something for, like I say, for camera and voice. So that's, the way we would run a game is I would, if I switch it over to my screen now. So if I was to run a game, I would go in as my games master. And we've got a few different things in here. The designer mode is like for when you're designing the software. So if I go into that for now.
I love you got the Dungeons and Dragons roller coaster. Love it. Sorry.
Yeah. So what you've got here is you've got different game sets. You can call these game sets, or you could call these worlds. So if you've got a particular world you've created that runs on a D&D 5th edition game set or something like that, you can create a game set. So what this is, I've got my Sketchwork fantasy game set, and I've got my D&D cartoon world. The D&D cartoon world is the one I play with my kids. It's a campaign that I wrote that integrates with the TV show. So they meet all the characters in the TV show, and then they can relate to them. So they're meeting, Hank and all that lot that they know and love. So that's how that works. And this one is the Sketchwork one is the one I play with my adult group. Now, if I go into this one, we've got our game set editor and we've got our campaigns. So inside the game set editor, you've got some more bits and pieces. You've got the rules and you've got your actual data. Rules are your rules for things like, how do you work with initiative? Do you roll D&D style with a 20 and add your initiative modifier, whatever? Or do you run a different way? Well, that's where you go to change things like that. Your data editor is where all your compendiums live. So in here, you've got your classes, your enhancements, which is a combination of your feats and traits, spells. These are all your spells that you've got in there, and equipment, £9 cannon, very good.
I mean, we need that for every game, basically.
Yes, they're on a boat at the moment, you see, so I had to put in a cannon for them so they can fire it. All the monsters, races, and anything in here that you want to use. So you've got all the different compendiums and stuff in there, as well as things like organizations, different services, like spellcasting services or bar bills or anything like that.
Emergency elf services.
That's it.
There you
Emergency
go.
health services. You've got lore. You can put any kind of lore in here you like, and your generators as well. So if you want, if they come across an NPC and you can't think of a name, you can click a button and it'll conjure up a name for you. And you go, oh yes, this NPC is Jack Smith or whatever.
So basically, you're saying that you walk into a bar and the heroes go, oh yeah, what's the barman's name then?
Exactly.
And you go, Bob. Oh, another Bob. They're all called Bob. Yeah, they're all related as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just like in Pokemon.
So yeah, you've just got a name generator. Fantastic.
So yeah, if you get to that point, because my party always ask me what their name, because they know I've half the time I've got a name. They find some random sat in the corner somewhere. Oh, hi, what's your name?
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got some different types of name tables in here, as well as town names, village names, some quests that you can put in there as well that you can randomly generate. So they find someone in a bar and he says, so have you got any work that we can do for you? You can go and click on something and it'll give you a very quick task for them to do. So
that's cool.
We do have a question.
Oh, yes.
Okay. What unique features does Ultimate Games Master have that set it apart from other applications? From Baron's Snowhand.
Yeah, well, the difference between Ultimate Games Master and other applications is the first thing is what Dave mentioned at the beginning. It brings everything together. Mm-hmm. So you've got your complete sound set, music. You've got control for smart lighting and stuff like that in your home, so you can control lights and things like that if you want to. You've got full player, full GM connectivity, or the big thing is sometimes you go to a place where the internet is really, really bad. With the Ultimate Games Master, you can run it completely offline. So you can run it offline in two ways. The first is with no internet connection at all. So you can run it as a local area network. So if you're sat around your table in your home and your internet's no good at this point in time, you can just have a LAN game. So you're not losing out any functionality. You just play around the table, but you're still connected. The other mode is complete disconnection. So let's say you rock up to an old manor house that has no 4G, no internet, no nothing. You can still play the campaign, but as completely unconnected. So I would have access to all of my GM notes. I can still run my my sound effects and my music and stuff like that from my device. And the characters have still got access to all of their character sheets, as well as all the bits and pieces that they can then, so you're not stuck with that data they've got there then. They still got access to anything. So if they were to level up in this manor house, there was no internet, they can still pick all their upgrades and things that they want. So that's one of the big things that kind of sets us apart, I think.
In this old manor house with no internet and no 4G, is there a way to add new players like the spooky ghost or the creepy butler that would obviously be there as part of this murder mystery scenario you've set up?
You could. Because you don't even have to have connected players. Let's say you have someone on your table that really doesn't want to play with technology, and they're always rocking up with their pen and paper. Mm-hmm. It's fine. You can add them as what we call a traditional character. And that will add them in. So you just need to, as a GM, you just need to make sure in advance that you've got their character on your device, so that you've got them, that they can be used, and then they use their pen and paper, and you act and you control anything, hit points and stuff for their character on your device, and then it still automatically shows up on their spectator. So if you're streaming, it will still pop up on the stream with that person that's using pen and paper, which is quite useful for people that don't like tech. Yeah. Or if you're a GM and you go into and you just run games with people that don't have UGM, you can still use UGM on your device and they can use whatever they like. So I think there's quite a lot there that does set it apart from what's out there already.
Yeah. You mentioned your device. What device support do you have? What devices could I use this software on?
Okay, at the moment it runs on PC, Mac, Android, iOS, and soon Chrome OS. So it's
Ooh.
quite and they're all interplay. So iOS can talk to Android, Android can talk to PC and Mac. It doesn't matter. I mean, on our table, we have a combination of, I run it on, if I can find it there.
Is this the Kindle?
I run it on my daughter's Kindle, which is not very powerful at all. It's lovely purple, but I run the entire campaign on that, and my players use PCs, Android, and iOS, and we all talk to each other. It all just works, interconnectivity. So it's quite a vast range of different platforms. And to be honest, if there's any platforms that people want it on, probably we can port it.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
You mentioned going back to creating an encounter.
Yeah.
Are you working with the companies? Are you working with Wizard of the Coast? Are you working with Paizo? So you've got the official monster stats, or do people kind of just put in their own stats?
We don't work with them at the moment. We'd love to. So if they're listening, we'd love to talk to you.
I'll put in a good word. Don't worry.
Yeah. But at the moment, if someone wants to add a monster that's in the monster manual, they just add it.
Type it in.
Yeah, type it in and say what source it's from, and then it will show up on their sources. Like, for example, if I go into monsters, you'll see in the corner, it will tell you the source of that. So these are all in the SRD, which is what's publicly available from Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah.
And there's some other stuff in there, like the equipment, like the 9-pound cannon is my homebrew. So I've got a little homebrew data set as well, which I use. So yeah, if you want to add stuff, very easy. You literally just create a new record and hit the stuff in, and then it's just available to everyone. Then when you start your game, you can just synchronize your data, and everyone's running with the same stuff, which is quite cool. But then going to so we talk about campaigns now. So we've got our world and our game set, which I said could be created as a world or a game set or both. We then got campaigns. So in the campaigns, we're currently running the Tyranny of Dragons on ours. So if I just go into the Rise of Tiamat, which is what we're running on, these are a list of all the characters that I've got available to me. So that's my daughter's character.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's great.
So if let's pick my wife, who's got a jelly bean in her hand. So if I just pick her to go into here with, within each of the campaigns, I've got an NPC editor, which is a whole list of different NPCs that I know is available to in this game. Yeah. And these are the ones that we've currently got. So if I go into, say, Frankie, no, we won't go to Frankie, we go to Jackson. Oh, he's leveled up, that's good. This is exactly the same as what you would see as a character. So if you are a character playing with UGM, you would see exactly the same as this. So that's another thing that's quite good about UGM is we treat NPCs as you would treat a character. So they have the same advancement paths, they have the same, all the different abilities and stuff like that. You can use it, or you can use it as a basic thing and have just basic stats and just copy them. It's entirely up to you. But so yeah, you've got, this is how the character sheet would look. These are your skills on the left-hand side, your ability stats at the top. Everything is clickable. So if you don't know what things are, just click it and it will tell you about it. It's nice and big, so if you're blind, you can still read it. Yeah. You can add buffs to them if you want to. So if, for example, you've got an armor class buff, you can add that just by clicking on the armor class, and you add a buff to it, and then that will appear there. So very easy, very visually easy to see where things are. I have a combat tab as well as an equipment tab. Equipment is what stores everything you've got. So everything you own is stored in your equipment. You've got equipment, different types of equipment as well. So if I've got a bag of holding, I can cycle through them all just by clicking on the header. I haven't got a bag of holding. Or if you've got a bank somewhere with loads of cash in it, you can go and see what's in your bank. But what the combat tab does, it breaks anything out so that if you're in a combat situation or an encounter, you don't have to look through all the equipment. You've just got the things that you use, things that are in your hand, available to you there. And you can click them, and you've got all your bonuses, any accessible ammunition for it. So if you've got some magic arrows, they'll appear there as well, and things like that. Gives you your bonuses and your damage, the hit stuff. And it also displays any arrows and stuff that you've got there as well.
I love what you do. When you mentioned for NPCs, or quite often, I do exactly that. I use a basic standard character sheet to create my bad guys. I don't use what D&D or Pathfinder give me. I tend to create my own because I want to be able to make them as real as possible sometimes. So if they need to escape and I need to climb a wall and get away, I'm still constrained by the same rule set rather than, oh look, he scaled a wall and got away.
Exactly, yeah.
It's a little bit too different. But at the same time, you also need that for cannon fodder. Sometimes you're just going to throw a horde of zombies at your players and they just need to kind of swing away, cleave them apart.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about that. It's just like, okay, with the amount of hit points, boom, 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 you get 3 in a row, it's fine.
Yeah.
So I'm a big advocate of that.
Yeah, I mean, the way I run with it, if there's ever anyone that's likely to pop up again or become a decent part of the story, or sometimes I've had to create an NPC because they suddenly befriended somebody. I'm like, oh, okay, and then they've persuaded them to come on a journey with them. I'm like, all right, okay. I roll them up and then and we'll have him as a character. That is actually how Jackson was created. He was some cult guard they found in a hallway somewhere, and they persuaded him that what he was doing was not good, and to come along with them. And they rolled well, and he changed his mind and came along and has been with them ever since. So that's how he was created. But you've also, if you click on the portrait, you've got all their roleplay notes there as well. So roleplay notes for this one, quite common Londoner accent. That's how he sounded. So that when I go back to an NPC, like 4 or 5 sessions down the road, I remember what they're supposed to sound like.
So, what, mate? What? What, mate? How you doing? Give us a gold piece. Give us a gold piece.
What, mate? Yeah.
Oh, my God.
But in here, you've got anything to do with that NPC or character, from their spell casting stuff to their backgrounds, languages, things like that. Then you've got your magic. Again, very easy. Got your cantrips. If you've got more than one magical ability, if they've multi-classed or something like that, you just click on the magic, like where it says magic cleric there. You just cycle through them by clicking that, and that will go to the different magic types that they've got. So,
question about magic. Do you have the spell descriptions there?
Yeah. So again, you can click on them. Brings up the descriptions with everything you need to know about them. Concentration, the fact that you can cast it at a higher level. So if you cast that, if we go for cure wounds, we can cast that at a higher level. So it will ask you what level you want to cast it at. I've got nothing higher than, I've got no slots higher, so I can only cast it at 1 anyway. But it comes up with any details that you need to know. Which is really helpful. Enhancements down here is, I don't think he has any. Mostly he has because he's cleric. This is like I say, is a combination of your traits and feats. So you can have all of your different traits and feats all listed in here. Again, very easy to look at. You can go down and see what you've got available to your character. If you click on that again, it will come up as active only. Active only ones are ones that would require uses So if you've only can do certain ones a certain time number a day, you can click on that and just see all the ones that you can only use once a day, which are normally kind of your big hitting traits and feats and stuff like that. It's quite useful. Hit points, accessible just by clicking either scroll at the bottom, and you just click on that and you can add conditions, hit dice or hit points. We'll go into that in a minute as well. But that's kind of your basic stats for your NPC and characters. There is, however, this book down here, which pops up your other controls, which is things like your rests, a dice roller. If you're a spell caster, you've got access to the spell book, so you can see what kind of spells you can cast. That's the notes, which if you're a GM, you can send notes down to your players, which is what I was saying to you earlier on, Lee. So if you had a map or any particular note that they might find or anything that you think they might need to keep for a later date, you can send it down from the GM and it appears in their notepad here, and then they can just click it and have access to that. Or they can create their own notes.
That would be really nice. Is there any way that you could give them a blank map? You know, like a maze, and then they can, you know, in like the old Baldur's Gate, you used to be able to mark on the maps, like, oh, I need a key for this door, and you'd make your own kind of one lines. Can you do that in this as well? Like the players can go and say, there's treasure here.
It's on my list of things that people want, but you can, like I say, you've got your own notes on there anyway, so you can make notes at the moment. If there's an image attached to it, it'll appear where the shield is, and then you can click on that and whop it up full screen and zoom in and things like that. But you can make your own notes, and the GM can also put notes against this particular thing that they might not want changed. So if this is a map of XYZ, you found it here. That might be one in the GM notes for this.
I love that idea. That is great.
And they can then use the user notes to put over whatever they like in there then. So that's quite cool. Just
a quick reminder to everyone who's watching. If you do have a question for Justin, just type question in capitals in chat. Obviously with the question as well, because that helps. And then if you spot it, when Lee spots it, we can ask Justin. So keep the questions coming.
I did spot we got a new subscriber.
I saw that. Thank you very much. Lords of Gallopay Games. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you.
Very cool. So other things in here. This is your rules compendium. So what this is, it is a list of absolutely everything, all in one place. So if you need to search for a trait, anything in particular, you can, like, I don't know, falling. You can type falling, and then you've got the everything you need to know about falling. Also, it lists anything from equipment in there as well. So you can access everything from one place if you want to.
So that kind of thing, when you cast like a player and you have a poison dagger and you stab the orc, you can transfer that poison to the orc, and likewise, poison cloud or stinking cloud affects the heroes. You can just dish that out. Those conditions just automatically get added.
Yeah, because you can, when you're creating your equipment, you actually mark on any particular special actions. Yeah. So if I was to, if we look at the equipment editor, if I just go through to that. So in here, if I find a dagger, I've got my dagger there, and I'll make a duplicate of that dagger. We'll call it Badger Dagger.
It's canon. We're in.
Yes.
It's canon.
And
I'm going to search for that now.
We're going to create that homebrew. So it's going to have all the characteristics of a normal dagger, except
it's cooler.
It might be worth a bit more money. Let's give it another gold. It's worth 3. With a badger dagger. You can mark if it's cursed. Might be a cursed badger dagger. You never know.
Most things we do are cursed. So.
Any abilities and stuff you need that'll enable you to have, to use that. But then the action is what you want. So again, basic action, thrown, because you can throw it, or we can then say, okay, this one is going to have a spell. It is going to be able to cast poison spray. Say. It's always available, so you can make it so it's only available if they've learned the item or if it's attuned. I would say it's always available for now. And save that. So now, when I add this badger dagger, my actions can be a basic action, which is a stab. It can throw, or it can be used to cast detect poison and disease. Did I click the wrong thing? I think I did, didn't I? Yeah. I'm supposed to click the poison, the other one. But it doesn't matter.
I threatened you with my badger dagger, and did you know?
You know,
you need to go to doctors. You've got to get that looked at.
Yeah, so
hang on a minute, I gotta check something real quick.
Yeah.
But you can add anything you like into that. So we'll have an acid arrow, actually. That's better. That makes more sense. And then you can add as many of these as you like for this particular dagger. And then you'll see here the base actions, normal thrown or acid arrow, which is a special feature for it. So yeah, you can do whatever you like with it. So going back to the campaign again. So we'll pick Hobnob this time. So if we go into the campaign editor, in here we've got, it's split down into chapters, then locations, and then areas.
Yeah.
So every stab casts cure wounds. Yeah, that'd be good. I like that. Yeah, so it starts with a chapter. These can be whatever you like. Don't have to be chapters and locations, but the way I run with it, I call them chapters. So in this one, because we're following at the moment Rise of Tiamat, we go into Sea of Moving Ice, which is what they're on at the moment.
Yeah.
You can see they've got, these two are active at the moment. So that's where we are at present. So these are the locations. So in this location, I've got a pirate island. Oh, that's my debug window. I've got a pirate island here. And in here, I can, I've just dumped on some different places on there. You can see what they are by looking at the legend there. So you've got a cave entrance, beach landing, lookout, and boat encounter. If I want to just look at them as cards, I can do that as well, just by looking on here. So I can see all the different different areas in this location, or I can just click on them in the map. So if I want to go into the cave, so they get into the cave entrance looks like you can only approach from foot. And let's just say they go into it. So I can jump into that now. So this is the cave area now. And this is where I will show you the encounter system. Mm-hmm. So if we go into area 2, I've set one up in here, which is a bunch of pirates. So what you can do, when you're creating an area, using the book here, you've got a whole load of elements down the bottom here. And these range from story text to read out, to GM notes that only you want to know, overviews of the area, encounter, experience, and loot drops, so that's the first section, which is like the main section because they're the main things I use. Then I've got some separators and spacers, so I might want to drag that up and stick a separator underneath there. So that just separates that. And then I've got my ability checks, NPCs and monsters that might be I want to have access to in this area. So let's pretend this is a bar. I might drop this one in here, and so I might say NPCs at bar, and at the bar we have got Jackson again. There he is. So he's accessible there now, and I can go into him as a quick look by clicking on that one, which gives me a quick overview of what he's doing. Or I can click his actual character, and I can go straight into his character sheet from there as well.
when you're doing that, say where I saw that you could add a monster at the bar.
Yeah.
How does that look? Like we have Jackson there, and then all of a sudden there's like a Minotaur. Or-
It's the thing. If I know that there's going to be a certain monster there, and I want to quickly have access to his stats without having to hunt through anything, I can just drop that on there. So I can say, okay, it's a monster, and I can just add a monster instead. So there could be an aboleth at the bar.
Hey,
And there he is.
hey, he wants a drink.
He wants a big drink. Yeah.
We're gonna pick him up as an NPC later.
And yeah, we'll take him with us. It could be helpful. It could be very helpful. And then I've got all access to anything that monster has as well.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's quite cool. So I'll just delete that one.
Just on that, I mean, you got them listed A to Z. Could you add like a favourites? Can you like the encounters you've got, the monsters which are in there from the Wizard of the Coast SRD? Just so you could star them. So you got the favourites at this, because everyone uses goblins and orcs. The aboleth is rare, but the aboleth is at the top.
Yeah.
So,
All right. We have another. I'm sorry.
I mean, the easiest thing to do is because you can sort it by CR rating as well.
Yeah.
But you would just where is he? If I add the monster again, and if it's a goblin, I'll just let's type it in.
Yeah.
Gob. And there he is. So I can very quickly, or I can just change the filter and change it to CR rating. If I want to see everything with a 1, CR rating 1, I can see that. Or I can just type in their name. I mean, a favourites is probably going to be quite useful.
I mean, if you're going down into detail, if you think about random encounter tables, so then you might do it terrain based. Okay, so I'm in Icewind Dale.
Yeah.
There's no point. Don't give me a desert rat. Give me an Arctic rat or something like that. So bits and pieces. However, some people like you're doing Rise of Tiamat. You know, there are pre-designed encounters, and you can copy that from the book, put it into this system. You're ready to rumble. That's fantastic. And if for those homebrew people as well, the homebrew DMs, who can have an idea of where they want to take the characters, but the characters go the opposite direction because that's what players do. They go, random table, boom, right. Dungeon, random, challenge rating 2, bush, you're in.
So if you want a random table based on a particular something, in the game set editor over here, which I didn't get to, you've got your random roll tables.
Random loot, wow.
Yeah, so
fantastic.
For example, if I go into random encounters, these are ones that I set up just in case they went off on a somewhere strange, which they did.
Yeah.
I could create a new one in here. We could call it I don't know, zombie horde.
Zombie badgers.
Yeah, that would do. Zombie badgers. You can give it a roll. So we'll say a D4.
Hey, the dagger of healing might actually kill these things.
These things. Yeah, that's what it's for. We're writing our own adventure here.
Here we go. We can get a one shot when you back the Ultimate Games Master on Kickstarter. You get the Badger Dagger and Badger Zombies. No extra charge. Hey, I'll pay you.
We did get another question.
Oh yeah.
With the aboleth at the bar, what's his tipple? And part 2 of the question is for me. What is an aboleth?
Oh.
Aboleth. Well, I'll do the one at the bar, and then you can explain what the aboleth is.
I'll get the Monsters Manual.
Yeah,
here we go.
Okay.
So I reckon the aboleth would.
Page 1.
Oh, okay.
There it is.
He's big.
He's
big.
cozy. That's cozy.
I would say his tipple is probably going to be rum from all the sunken ships. He sinks the ships just to get the barrels to break them open.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
So random encounters. So we created this random badger encounter, random zombie badger. So let's say a small encounter. We add in just a zombie. and we'll say so that we're going to encounter a minimum of 1 and a maximum of 5, and that'll do for now for that. And then if we got a large encounter, we can say, right, okay, if it's a large encounter, we're going to have a zombie. There's going to be between 5 and 10. And there's going to be a zombie ogre as well with them. And there's just going to be one of those no matter what. So when we add this encounter now, you'll see it's going to generate a zombie between a number between 5 and 10, and an ogre if we get a large. So this is all still on the roll of a dice. So if the D4 gets a small, it's going to just be 1 to 5 zombies, which is going to be the norm. So on a D4, 1 to 3 is going to get you a small encounter, or on a 4, it's going to generate you a large encounter.
And this generates dice rolls for you as well?
Sorry?
You can do dice rolls through this program as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can do dice rolls. Yeah. Random loot as well. I've got some already set up, but same thing applies. If we do a small coin drop, I think I've got this set up. If you roll a 1 to 3, they get nothing. Roll 4 to 5, they get a small drop of between 50 and 100 silver. Or larger drop, if they roll a 6, it's between 10 and 25 gold. So much better. And that's kind of on your random loot. Now you'll see where these come in a minute. So that's on a small coin loot. Now, you've also got your normal kind of random roll tables in here as well, where you can add in what you like. You can add in things like the deck of many things and all that jazz. So you can add whatever you like in there. And your dice and cards, you can add in any type of dice you want. You want a D5, I've already got a D5. You want a D23, you can have a D23 if you like. So it's all completely customizable. Now, if we go back to that encounter, so I'll choose egg this time. And we were in here. Mm-hmm. So in this area, we've got this encounter I've set up. Now, if I go into that, you can see it's going to create between 2 and 8 pirate magicians, between 5 and 10 pirates, big bad Roger, and 2 pirate officers.
I get that you mean that they're like pirates who do magic, but I'm also in my head of like the stage magician.
Yeah, they're probably not very good magicians, not very good magic people. So in here, it's the same kind of thing applies. When we generate this encounter, it's going to be between 2 and 8 of these magicians. And I'm also putting a little randomize on their hit points as well. So their hits are going to be between 20 and 28 hit points each. So for what we do, you've got this chest down here as well for this encounter. So this will always drop between 300 and 500 gold. Mm-hmm. So all this you've set up previously when you're creating your game. So when you get to your game, you just click the button. Click that, generates the stuff, goes round. It's rolling all their initiatives in the background properly, not just guessing a number. So it's properly rolling their initiatives. Egg, which is the character I just picked up, I'm going to auto roll him. So here we go. We've got our encounter screen here. Now, in the top right-hand corner, we've got the current person that's turn it is. So at the moment, it's pirate number 6. They rolled well. You've got the eye drop here, which you can click on just to maximize their details. So they're going to come at you with a pitchfork. You've got your arrows, which are very easy to go between different turns. So you can just go down to your turns. Where did Egg come? God, he didn't roll very well.
Sorry, Egg.
Yeah. Bye-bye, Egg. You're dead. Again, everything is available to you here, which is really useful. So if we go down, oh yes, and the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see, which Dave mentioned earlier on, is our reinforcements. So Big Bad Roger is going to be arriving in round 4. where the pirate officers are going to be arriving in round 2. So you see they're not in here at the moment. They've already been rolled initiative on, so they're already ready to go, but they're not here yet. So we just go down. Lots of people here. If you want to see the details of somebody that is not currently its turn, you just click on them and their details appear down here. So if you want to see what Egg's details are, this is Egg's character sheet and all his stuff there. Again, you can just maximize that if you want. You can see all his spells and everything that he's got available to him. And then we go down. So we get to the next round and boom, send round some players. No, I don't want to, got non-connected, but reinforcements have arrived. Assassin 1 and Assassin 2. So they've already been rolled in and they are the pirate officers. So there's Pirate Officer 2. And I don't know where the other one was. There he is, and just number 1. Again, it's got all their details here. It does tell you, because I've actually based the pirate officer and it's based on an assassin. So it just gives you an idea of what the base monster was that I created this monster from, which is quite handy sometimes because you can rename them. And you go down, you kill stuff by clicking on them. Very easy. So you're going to kill him off. He's dead. He's deceased.
Yeah.
This pirate officer, let's kill him off as well. 150 off. He's dead. And we can close that. And then what you see there is it's automatically knows who's dead. It's worked out their XP. So if you're running with an XP-based system and not like at the end of a chapter, they get awarded a level up or something, you can use this. So that's automatic. It's automatically done their loot. So if we go in, it will then generate all the loot for this as well. We'll say, okay, Egg's going to be taking part in this loot system. And there you go. Gold, we've got 489 gold, which was our random number between, I think it was like 300 and 600, I think it was. So that's now the gold loot that will stay there until someone either takes it or just stays there. So that will always be there. So if they come back to this area, they can drop some stuff in this area and then they think, probably needed that. They can go back and then you've got access to it straight away and then they can re-pick it up if they want to, which is quite cool.
I'm sorry, we got another question.
Yeah, cool.
Maybe we missed it, but are character sheets also customizable, like adding different fields that are different from the usual sheets?
Yes.
Dragon's Fire.
Yeah,
Yes.
what we'll do, I will, because you've got, if I just bring up a character at the moment. Let's go into here. So everything in here is customizable, from the skills to the abilities to the combat stats. You've also got trackers in here as well. So if I click on the combat stats there, I can have as many different trackers built into that if I want as well. So if I want to track some custom thing, like one of our players, Stuart, likes to. He has a burned down tavern, little tracker. So he's still on 0 at the moment, but I know he's hoping to one day burn down a tavern. But he also has things like dragons defeated, which he puts in there, and they defeated one a couple of weeks ago, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, you need a cure list. You got to have a cure list of something.
Yeah, exactly. So you can customize that and add in whatever you like. So, and that's in here in the customizer, which got all the different stats, tracker stats. There we go. So eggs tracking preserve life. There's nothing to stop you adding new trackers in there. And then they appear on the same page. So they'll appear in here. So most things are customizable. I will show you very quickly another, because we also run with themes. So this is an example of the Ultimate Games Master, but skinned for sci-fi.
Ooh.
So that is one of our sci-fi skins, which I ran a campaign with spaceships, which was pretty cool. but there's like the character sheet for it. So
Oh, for a spaceship.
yeah.
Oh, that
So
would be cool.
you can see it's very different. The skills are completely different. The ship's stats are completely different. Everything about it is completely different.
I like that the ship is proficient in repair. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, so some aren't. Some are more tanks. What was this one? Can't remember now. But this was a campaign that I put together. So instead of running with hit points, it runs with armor, and I used the temporary hit point mechanic as shields. So the shields were the temporary hit points that went up and down. Then when they got to 0, it started trashing their armor, which was quite cool. So yeah, so everything is completely skinnable and themable, so you can create your own themes or use some of our own.
Okay, so we can put our own theme to it, like our own sci-fi thing.
Yeah, it's completely customizable. Our theming engine is just graphics, just like anything really. So if you want to change the way the character sheet works, it's built up of a sprite sheet. We give you access to that, so you just open it in whatever your favorite app is, whether it's Photoshop or GIMP or whatever, and then you can just change it. And then next time you run UGM, you can use that as your base theme, and it applies to anything from the background to the button layouts, to things like the like conditions. So you've got your different conditions on here, so they appear down here. So that's all on a sprite sheet, which can be changed as well. So yeah, it's all very customizable.
And I think that's pretty good. I liked that as well. Again, like D&D Beyond, you can customize the background, but you can't customize the entire system. So you could literally theme something to your campaign, make it darker and darker and darker as you went through it. If it's a horror game, you can do some really creepy stuff. I wanted to come back to maps. So you had your there was one of the castle, and you've got those numbered and tagged and everything else. So how does the mapping system work? Not this, but can you upload custom maps? Can you connect to things like dynamic dungeons? Can you create maps inside Games Master?
The creating of maps inside Ultimate Games Master is something that we've got in development.
Cool.
But that's not just this kind of map. That 2D maps, yeah, you can change it just by clicking on the edit button, and then clicking on the add map. Yeah. And then you can add any kind of map into this, what you like. So if you've created it in whatever your favorite software is, you can import it into UGM, and then you can just plonk on your markers on there and just say where they go, what area they relate to. Yeah. What we're working on is a complete 3D system, which I've got a screenshot that I can throw up for you. That's one of the maps that we showed off at the Games Expo last year, the year before when we were there last.
So you've got dynamic lighting.
Yeah.
That's is that a snapshot, or is that like a
world
living. You could explore?
It's completely living. It's living as in the fact that you can control day and night cycles. Yeah. You can control where that particular tavern's lights go on and off. You can have a grid overlay, hex overlay, that kind of thing. But the beauty of it is because it's 3D, you can have a good look inside things. You can take the roof off the tavern and use your miniatures in there, or your tokens.
What about sound, weather effects?
Yeah, complete control over, like I say, time of day. So you can have this as the sun rises, you can say, okay, the time is, because you've got time of day in the normal UGM, but as the sun changes, the shadows will change. As the sun goes down, you can put the torches all light up and stuff like that. So
is this a 3D environment, or are people's characters 3D? Because we had a chat before we went live about you can upload a 3D model. Are those can those be animated, or is it still static? They're just markers that the players can then move. And can the players move their own markers?
It's because it's an app. You've got complete control over it. So it's if you want players to have control over their miniatures, it's a case of it will, you can bring it up on overlay on their character sheet. Yeah. And then they've got complete access to it because it's completely built into Ultimate Games Master. You've got access to everything. So the rule set. So if you cast a spell, one of the things against all of our spells and things like that, they all have an area of effect.
So you do spell effects.
So you can create spell effects, which then would light up the passageway or something like that.
Fireball.
You can go as crazy with it as you like, but this is a product that is in development and will be completely bolted into UGM on release. We sort of showed a few screenshots and stuff of what we've been working on at the last Games Expo, and people were like, wow, this is awesome. But everything is controllable within your control panel. So if, for example, we're in this area here, if we look at the element bar, down on the element bar, as well as the mood, music and sound, you've also got third-party stuff here. We've also got an ILMA event. ILMA is a working title for our interactive live-in maps application. So, and what that would do, it will say, okay, when I trigger something here, it's going to trigger something on my map. So if you want to arrive here and it starts raining, you can trigger the rain and it will start raining.
Well, that's what you want, is the dark and stormy night.
Yeah, and what the main thing about using the Ultimate Games Master was the fact it gives you access to everything from one place. Because I use Sirenscape for some of our music. Some of our music I use our own because we've got our own bundles as well. But you use Sirenscape, you just dump on a Sirenscape element and you've got access to your Sirenscape library. So if you use, because we got friendly with Ben from Sirenscape at the Games Expo a good few years ago, and we worked with him and we got it all working, and it's great. So you can use that, or you can just dump on one of our own. So if we go to music, I want to drop in a music, we'll say fight, and it's a UGM bundle. We'll say we'll use encounter music bundle and encounter final music metal. I'll turn it down because it'll blow us away. Maybe that should work. And then I want to add in some sound effects on this particular place. So we'll say, okay, we will create a Wilhelm scream. So everyone likes a Wilhelm scream. And we'll turn the volume down on that so it doesn't deafen us, say about 40%. And then what we've got there, we've got our scream, put it underneath, and our fight music. So I get to this place. One of the options was to start it as soon as I enter the area. So if I don't want to click it, I don't have to. But if I do, I just click it, and then it starts up. So I've got my music running. Someone gets killed. And then you got the beauty. Someone cracks a bad joke.
Yay, tumbleweed!
Everyone loves the tumbleweed. So so you've got access to everything there. I'll just turn the music off now. So let's fade that.
We had another question.
Yeah.
What is your favorite feature of UGM?
Goodness, my favorite feature. You're asking the developer here to pick one of his babies. Individual features, I would say most definitely the encounter system, because it makes life so easy. My original pirate encounter that I did with my own group, which was this one, when they entered this area, they didn't enter quietly. They entered so loudly, and this was a big pirate hideout, and everyone came at them. They had about 50 odd pirates, about 20 of those dodgy magicians, as well as the big bad guy and the two assassin guys as well. And I was able to just roll initiative very quickly. It took like 3 seconds to roll initiative for like 75 different things. And then I was straight in. So the fact that they went in, didn't do it quietly, because I thought they would quietly enter and then they would be able to pick them off, but they didn't. They went in all guns blazing. And that's why on here, you had the arrival round was, because obviously the big bad wasn't in the room at the time. They were somewhere else. Then all the other pirates were in another room. So they were, I think, like coming in at round 3. And then something else was at round, I think the big bad was at round 8. But there was like so many things there. And it was easy. I was able to just go down and just very quickly do whatever they needed to do. The other thing you can do is if you are dealing with massive encounters, you can group them as well. So you can say, okay, they've encountered 25 pirates or 25 goblins. You can say, okay, I'm gonna group these in groups of 5. So you end up with only 5 different encounter lines on your encounter tree, which is a lot more manageable. It completely depends on the GM how they want to run it. I mean, I'm quite happy running with like many bad guys, and it was a fun encounter. That the first kind of wave was easy because all the pirates have got like under 10 hit points, so it was just cannon fodder. It's like, but the funny thing was, it was like, wow, there's so many people here. Fireballs, blow everything up with our top level spells. And then as time goes on, the lieutenants and the big bads turn up and they've like wasted all their spell slots. So they're then trying to attack these big bads with just like a sword and a short bow and stuff. I mean, nice. I think some of them got knocked down, but in the end they did manage to beat it, which was fun. And, you know, people watching, if you're wondering where the pirate encounter was in Rise of Tiamat, it's not. They decided to go on a complete tangent. So
that happens, yeah.
So something. So for folks who are watching us live, we've gone over the hour, so we're going to start getting ready to wrap up soon. So if you have any questions for Justin, any questions whatsoever about the UGM, do put it into chat. I have a question as well, because everything you've shown us just now in the past hour, there is so much, and we've just basically hit the tip of the iceberg with everything that's there. But here's a question: when like this goes on to Kickstarter in a few weeks, you'll be in development. When it launches, when it's ready to go to those backers, is there going to be some kind of quick help guide, quick start guide, something that's kind of pre-made in there, ready to go and say, like, play with this first, then take it apart, and you'll understand how this works. Because this literally is this is like a box set that has everything you need. Okay, and I've got platinum Beetle and Grimm platinum box sets, which has a lot. This has more. Okay, this is like 5 platinum boxes in one. You don't need different apps for everything. This is it. And you said this also has streaming elements as well. So this has so much.
Queuing up.
Yeah.
So I've just now created it as a network game. So I joined one of my characters on it. So it's hard to show the proper stream side of it while streaming and running hundreds of things here at the once. But I mean, I didn't even touch on this lot. These are your quick access stuff. But in here, you've got a spectator mode as well. So this enables me to, as a spectator, So you don't have to join as a GM or a player. You can also join as a spectator. Now, this can be used to stream. It can also be used for an additional device. So if you've got, say, your phone, you can launch it on the phone and just have your spectator screen on that phone. So you've got a complete overview of your party all the time if you want to. Mm-hmm. Again, this is controllable from the GM. So if you don't want them to have access to that, fine, it's up to you. But my players like it. But this is a complete living thing. So if this was running in stream mode, your character, these different panels here can be where you like. They can be broken down into smaller pieces, so you can just display your hit points and your armor class, and you can then overlay underneath your camera, for instance, on OBS or whatever you use. And because it's a live data, if I bring up my my other character, and you'll see if I now deduct some hit points there, you'll see it impacts the spectator. Or if I gain some XP, all this is overlaid on your spectator screen. So you've got complete overview of, so if someone's watching your stream, they're not watching static data anymore. They're watching what's happening to your party. They're seeing, oh, he's been hit. Oh, he's been hit. Oh, they've got so much XP without the GM having to commentate.
I was going to say, do you remember Wolfenstein?
Oh, yeah.
And he used to get like bloody nose and black eyes. Yeah. The more damage you took, that's what on the character sheet. You want the character sheet, like the parchment pad it's on. You want it to take more and more and more damage. You want it to curl and furl and get bloodied or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So you can do all kind of weird and wonderful stuff like that. Again, if you're got a condition, there you go. You've now got a condition on there, so it will show you exactly what's happening with your character. Mm-hmm. And then as a spectator, you can click on it and you can see, okay, it means they're blinded. Obviously, they can't click on it if it's running on a stream, but spectators can. So it's great. And as I can't show it because I'm not running it as a game, but as the encounter goes down, mm-hmm. As it becomes your turn, that person becomes active in front automatically. So you always know whose turn it is. And when it's not there, it's obviously someone else's. It's a monster's turn. So that is the spectator overview kind of screen. This has lots of different layouts. So this is running with 3 cards, but you can run it as many as you like. You just arrange it however you want it to be arranged using the spectator designer and the streaming designer. And that will also allows you to put in things like, you saw the ticker going across the bottom of that. Yep. See, the ticker you can program that with whatever you like. You can have scrollers. You can also do things like, say you're talking about a particular item, you can then throw that item so it pops up on the stream. And on the stream, it comes up straight from your compendium. So you don't have to program anything into OBS. It's just on the overlay coming straight from Ultimate Games Master. So it'll pop up with that item's details. It will pop up with, if you want to show the viewers a particular monster you're talking about, you can bring it up on the stream and they can see what they want. Or a rule, if there's someone questioning a rule, you can say, oh, this is the rule I'm talking about. And it comes up on their screen. Again, you can position it where you like. Yeah. So like on your one, you had stuff on the side. You can pop it on the side and say, oh, this is the rule we're talking about. This is what happens. Right, there we go. No more arguing or whatever. Yeah. And the last thing is, before we, I don't know, whatever we do, is you've got scenes as well. Which I think is quite exciting. So here we got one of the big bad of this particular area, and as they enter, they roll for initiative, and then I click play, and then we have.
Oh, fantastic!
So then that pops up on everyone's screen. It blanks out their character sheet, so they know this is all exciting now. This is what's going on, and then music can pop in and do whatever. So does lots of stuff.
So much stuff, yeah.
I like that because in my head I'm imagining, because I often play like I've got so when the past year I've been playing online as everyone else has. So when I'm a player, I will use an iPad with my D&D Beyond character sheet on here, but I'm talking on Zoom on here, so we can see everyone's faces. The DM can put up a picture, or here's the map, and I've got my character sheet that I look at on here. I can roll digital dice, and if everyone's in the same party, everyone can see those results, and that's shared.
Yeah.
But because second screen is kind of a big thing. If you're watching TV downstairs, you've always got your phone on or an iPad. You're always doing shopping on something or other, ordering a pizza. Not that I do that a lot. But I love the fact that you could have see everyone's faces, see all the players, and then suddenly, boom, this comes up. Just completely drags you back into the story of the game. This is where you are, and start to get the atmospheric images on my device that because I am the character, I am the hero, and I'm seeing this for the first time.
Yeah.
Or everyone is, and everyone's like, wow. And you can still put it on the big screen as well.
Yeah,
but I love that. It's so immersive.
It is.
While still being separate.
And it's exciting because, I mean, if like Stuart, for example, has a screen there, he has something else there, and he always has a spectator open, so he can see. And obviously, you hit something like that, and all his devices go black, and boom.
It's like, where am I?
And it's like that. Wow, this is exciting. This is something happening now, because obviously I don't use it all the time. I use it when I want some hard hitting. I want to bring everyone here. Right, okay, something serious is about to happen here. And at that point, they were entering the lair of the dragon, and then it fires up music and sound, and
I can imagine that would immediately just make everyone stop, pay attention. Like, what are you doing? Get off the phone. Stop texting. Boom. And you just and it's the same. Like if you were doing puzzles. I've just gone on a tangent now. I want to do interactive puzzles. Could I do like a square peg round hole, and the players have to figure out the puzzle on a touch device, and then
you've got
put that in version 2. There we go.
You've got a puzzle element. So with the puzzle element, you can create that kind of puzzle. There's loads of things there. Little quests. You've got that. Messaging's good. So if I was to drop a message on here, I don't know, mind control. You are now control something, blah, blah. So what you do, you say, okay, and you can say wireless acknowledgement. And when we get to this position, let's say one of them has had some kind of mind control on them. Mm-hmm. You don't want to pass a note across the room, so everyone goes, what's going on there?
Yeah, everyone sees it. Everyone sees you wait. You go, yes, nothing happened.
Yeah, nothing. You can click on that and you say, yeah, I'll send it. It's a prepared message. And I only want to send it to this character.
Yeah.
And it will go to that character and it pops up on their screen. So only they know, oh, I'm under control of some big bad being.
Yep.
And you got the same with questions. You can say, okay, we have a question here. This was quite fun. We did a one shot, and I knew it was a one shot, so I knew there was going to be some real deaths in it. And in the very last room they were in, something happened, and they had to choose one of their party to die.
Yeah, vote on it.
Yeah. One person had to pick one, and I'd like put in there, okay, Larissa. And then on their screen, it pops up with something's happened. Do you want who you got to choose who you want to cop it?
Yeah.
And it's very quick, so you don't have to sit and type it in because it's already prepared there. I've done this ahead of time. I click it and I say, right, I want to send that, and I'm going to send it to Larissa, and then she then goes away, and and chooses, and she says, and then you get a answer back. I'm answering with Larissa, and then there you go. That's the person that's had it.
Fantastic.
I really love the ominousness of the "you are now" message in the mind control, because it doesn't actually finish. And like maybe your character doesn't know what they are now, but you are now.
Well, there was two things that spring to mind there. One is that is such a great game mechanic for Call of Cthulhu. So horror games and elements like that, lots and lots of secrecy. And the other thing is, it just reminds me whenever we used to, before times when we were playing games around the table, and the DM hands a note to someone, or they go and speak privately, or whatever it is, and everyone comes back and they're like, if they don't say anything, no, that was fine. I will not say anything. There it is. And everyone's like, so what happened?
Yeah.
What happened? No. In the game, you just imagine the whole party just goes right, and they just move, and then the person standing on their own, Billy No Mates, is like, what, guys, come on. And as soon as you're in that tunnel, you're stabbing someone in the back. He says they are mind controlled.
Yeah,
but they're mind controlled with the Badger Dagger, so it's actually really beneficial.
That feels really good.
Oh, thanks. That was really bothering me. I feel better now.
Yeah, there's a lot. Fantastic. I mean, there's a lot of elements here. Clues, you can drop in clues that you can send down to people. Timers, they're useful. So if you've got a particular timer, like one that they had when they just, one of the pillars came down in a cave, and then it triggered a 20-minute timer. And then that would tick down. And the beauty about it is the timer will also take into account if you're in an encounter, and will only count down 6 seconds or whatever your time structure is for encounters. So it's live while we're sat here, but when you go into things, it will time slice its stuff.
I love that as well, because it takes that kind of it takes that to account away from the DM. The GM can go, right, there's your 20 minutes.
Yeah,
that's it, and step away. There you go, guys. Look, the bomb timer is ticking. Yeah. Solve the puzzle, get out of the room, whatever it is. But I've started it, and I'm going to walk away. It's now down to you. Yeah.
I mean, that was one of the things that was good in that particular one shot that I was just talking about. Is, I used a timer. The first thing, as soon as they got in, door closed, timer starts. They didn't know what it was for, but this voice said you only have X amount of time to get out of here, and they had to find their way through in that time limit, which is also really useful for things like when you're at an expo and you want to run a game on your table, or you run a timed game, and you say, okay, you've got this amount of time to get out of here. And
I loved it. See, another element of UGM is the creativeness and the independence of this. So you can grab images from the internet. It's for your table game. It's a nice private thing. Grab some images, grab some sound effects, put it in. And I was just thinking, like, as a timer, if you could get the Jack Bauer 24 timer, and it just counts down, because everyone knows that. Everyone's used to it. And you just go, here we go. And away you go. Just have some fun. And I love that element, because we, when we actually do this, when we're streaming games, we'll be in the middle of the fight and we'll talk about, did anyone see like Loki on Netflix? we'll talk about that in the middle of combat, because it's as close as we can to being at our tables.
Yeah.
But having those elements, and everyone says, "Oh yeah, I do that bullet time for the Matrix, and I'm dodging like crossbow bolts flying past me as I go into haste mode." It's fine. So we're always making these pop culture connections. Bring elements that we know into the game as visual elements or sound elements. I love that.
Just the whole, like, the big thing for me when I was creating it was to just make it as immersive as I could, and it works. It really does work. We've run all of our games with it now for over 18 months, and we don't use anything on paper anymore. So everything from notes for the characters, they can make their own notes, to for me to make notes. I've got a one of the the wrap-up point. So if we're at a point and I think, okay, we need to wrap up there, I'll dump that on an area and make some notes so I don't forget what's happening. And so when we pick up next time, I just read my wrap-up point and I know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, the REST URL is great because you can control your lighting with it. The ILMA is for controlling our new app that we're going to be creating at the end of the year. Hardware, if you've got any other kind of hardware that, because we've got, API opening.
Here's a slightly, might be a bit easier question. Other than the Kickstarter, what is next for UGM? What's the next thing you need to plug into this thing? What's it missing? What doesn't it do? Because it does everything apart from make popcorn.
Yeah. Well, the next thing is the maps. It's the maps.
I was going to say popcorn. Control the lights. It does turn the popcorn maker on.
Because you can have a smart plug.
Yeah.
And then trigger it from your app, and then it'll start making your popcorn or boil your kettle in the background. But yeah, the next thing, I mean, the next big thing will be our map app, which is coming out near the end of the year, hopefully. That's huge. That is really, really going to be big. And it just integrates completely into UGM. So that is a complete plugin for any kind of map. It already does 2D maps. Yep. So you could, any kind of 2D maps that you can conjure up, you can plug in already and use them.
So let's specifically talk about the Kickstarter. What is your target?
Our target is low. It's only 15,000 because we are right at the end of our development cycle. It's really, we're raising the money to do the polish, buy the server space that's going to be used for running your connected games. Because you can, like I said, you can run a local area game where you don't need the internet, but sometimes it's just easier to disconnect to a server. So, you'll get that connectivity, which is what I'm on at the moment. I'm connected to server in the sky somewhere, which is running a UGM server, which you don't ever have to worry about. It's just there for anyone to use.
And how long? Go on. Sorry, Lee, go on.
We're being asked if you can send it to TV.
To TV?
Can you send it to a TV, like Google Cast?
Yeah, I mean, if you can cast a device, if you want to cast, say, your spectator to the TV, you just have a device that's running the spectator mode and just cast it like you would anything else. Yeah.
Okay. What about how? So when the Kickstarter launches, 27th of July.
Yes, 27th of July.
How long is the Kickstarter, and what will backers get?
Okay.
Are you doing tiers and add-ons and things like that?
Yeah, there's going to be lots of tiers and add-ons. We're still finalising what you get. I think it's probably easier to first talk about how much it costs, because then that will lead on to what we're offering in the Kickstarter. We're offering it from when Kickstarter finishes. Players are free, so players don't cost anything. Just download the app, create an account, which gives you access to the cloud and all that stuff, and as many character sheets as you like. So characters don't cost anything. Yeah. The GM package is only $5 a month, and that gives you everything that I've shown you today, apart from the last tier, the sound and the third-party integration, because that costs us money to produce that stuff. Yeah. To get the total immersion package is $7.50 a month. That's everything.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. So it's an extra $2.50, and that's your lot.
Is that US dollars?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So you've got GM mode, $5 a month, and total immersion, just everything, $7.50 a month. Players are free. Now we go back to the Kickstarter, and what we're offering on there. I can't give any specifics because we haven't nailed them completely down yet. But we're offering things like 6 monthly packages. No, we're not. We're offering 12 monthly packages, and we're offering some unlimited time ones. So we're doing some lifetime ones that will only be available on our Kickstarter. So you pledge for that, you get it for life, which is pretty awesome. As well as we've got some like coins and stuff. Some of the things.
So you mentioned coins. You're doing physical items with the digital product. Fantastic. Yeah. Are you doing dice? That's what everyone wants to know. Are you doing dice?
We're looking at dice, most probably. It's for us at the moment. It's looking at like getting things delivered, because
Yeah. Okay.
the world is upside down at the moment. So certain tiers we're doing the coins, which is going to be a unique UGM coin.
Cool.
And then when we launch our map app Kickstarter, probably later on in the year, we'll have a map UGM coin as well. So it'll be like a collector's too.
Nice.
Which would be really nice. PP coins.
PP coins. That's a kind of an inside joke. So we have Pathfinder. They do coins by Campaign Coins. So
Okay.
it's got a P, but if you rotate it a different way, it looks like an anatomy part.
Excellent.
So we call it the PP coins.
Excellent. We make sure we don't have to have dodgy rotations.
Yeah. Yeah. Always double check.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, we're offering quite a lot of stuff. The main things is going to be the UGM packages. Although we are one of the things we are offering is our artists will draw your character for you as one of the pledges, which is quite cool. Yeah, so there's quite a bit of stuff there.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I think, and you're not tied to anything with UGM as well. So, you're not tied to using Sirenscape for music or us for music. You can import your own MP3s or WAVs in there and customize, put whatever you like, as well as your own graphics. So, yeah, it's hard to offer things when most of the stuff you can do within the app anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, coins, dice, gonna be cool.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
We are going to wrap it up there. We've gone over the hour, just a little bit, an hour and a half there. So, Justin, thank you so much for coming on and talking about the UGM. It is, we spoke a couple of weeks back, and again, the guys took me on a tour of what it is. It really is amazing. There's a ton of stuff under the hood on this thing. Wholeheartedly encourage you to check them out. ultimategamesmaster.com. Please do. And on screen right now, it's launching on Kickstarter on the 27th of July. Be the first to get in that. When do you think, how long is development time? Is that 6 months?
Well,
When the Kickstarter wraps up?
We've been running this successfully and working without crashing or bugs or anything like that for quite a while now. So as soon as Kickstarter is finished, you'll automatically get access to what we've been using.
Okay, so that's only 30 days. So
Yeah,
basically
exactly.
by the end of August, early September, you could already get your hands on.
Yeah, that's why it's the most people that run a Kickstarter are like, right, brilliant, right, we've done the mock-up, let's get on with it. Let's make the app. And it's going to take 6 months, 8 months. We've done that. This is literally going to then fund the launch of the product. So you get what we've been using for months and months and months, like 18 months we've been using this now. And yeah.
Cool. Absolutely fantastic. Right. We're going to wrap it up there. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Lee, for jumping on to co-host there.
Always a pleasure.
And hopefully we will see you all again very, very soon. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.